Dear friends, subscribers and viewers, welcome to the second part of my lecture on Indian drama. Ancient Indian theatre was dominated by Sanskrit plays, and the very existence of a document or a treatise like the Natya Shastra, which is attributed to Bharata Muni, proves that drama in ancient India was highly evolved and sophisticated. The Natya Shastra is a detailed treatise that governs all aspects of every type of public performance in India. It covers acting, dancing, music, stage construction, costumes, makeup, stage props, theatre companies, the audience, and also provides a mythological background for the origin of theatre. It is based on actual performances that happened in the period between 200 BCE to 200 CE. So who were the first performers? Who were the first theatre artists? The Sanskrit plays written in ancient India were performed on sacred ground. The performers were priests. These priests were highly trained artists. They were trained in dance, music, and recitation. And these skills were hereditary acquisitions. When we do a comparison between ancient Indian drama and medieval European drama, we find that there are a lot of differences between ancient Indian drama, which was very sophisticated, and medieval European drama, which was actually in its very nascent stage. The plays, the miracle and morality plays, which were performed in England during the medieval period, did not have dialogues, and they were more or less based on action, or they were mime-related performances where messages or stories from the Bible were enacted by the priests inside the church or later on the church grounds to spread the message of Christianity. But ancient Indian drama and theatre were actually very well organized, and they enjoyed royal patronage. The performers belonged to professional theatre companies. They were directed and managed by a stage manager or a sutradhara. And this sutradhara also acted on occasions. The performers were imparted rigorous training, and there was no gender discrimination. There were female performers and all female companies, along with all male and mixed gender theatre companies. Unlike Elizabethan theatre of England of the 16th century or even ancient Greek theatre. Elizabethan theatre, as many of you know, did not permit female performers and female presence among the audience. The same applies to ancient Greek theatre also. Ancient Greek theatre also did not have female performers or females in the audience. The roles of women in both ancient Greek theatre and Elizabethan theatre were taken up by male performers. When we come back to ancient Indian theatre, we find that age and gender appropriate roles were given to the performers. The Natya Shastra gave maximum importance to Abhinaya or acting. According to the Natya Shastra, there are two styles of acting: realistic acting or Okadharmi and conventional or Natyadharmi. Does a Sanskrit drama and theatre survive today? If so, where? Yes, Sanskrit drama and theatre survives today in Kerala. Kudiyattam or Kuttiyattam is an ancient performing art of Kerala that has survived continuously for nearly 2000 years. It is a form of dramatic dance theatre that enacts Sanskrit dramas, and it is clearly or closely associated with Kerala's temples. It is performed in the temple theatres known as Kootambalams. A Kudiyattam performance can go on for up to 41 days. It is different from Kathakali, and the enactment of a single act from Sanskrit plays can go on for hours together. So, Kudiyattam is indeed the oldest continuously performed form of Sanskrit theatre and survives even today in Kerala. UNESCO, or United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, has accorded Kudiyattam the distinction of being one of the masterpieces of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. Now, the major Sanskrit plays which were written in ancient times by Bhasa and Harsha continue to be performed in Kudiyattam even today. If you remember, I had mentioned in part 1 of my lecture on ancient Indian drama that 13 plays of Bhasa, the ancient Sanskrit dramatist, were discovered in an old library in Trivandrum in the early 20th century. There is a belief that these plays, known as the Trivandrum plays of Bhasa, were adapted from the original source so that they could be choreographed for Kudiyattam performances. A Kudiyattam performance blends song, dance and acting with storytelling, and it is performed in the Kootambalam or traditional temple theatres of Kerala. Major changes in Kudiyattam were introduced by Kulasekhara Varman Cheraman Perumal, the ancient Chera king who ruled from Mahodayapuram or modern-day Kodungallur. He ruled over Kerala in the 9th century CE, and he himself wrote 2 plays, Subhadra Dhananjayam and Tapati Samavarna. The king introduced local language for the Vidushaka, and he restructured the performance of the play into well-organized units along with his courtier Tolan. These plays continue to be performed even today, along with the traditionally presented Sanskrit plays like Ashcharya Chudamani of Shakti Bhadra, Nagananda of Harsha, Kalyana Saugandhiga of Neelakantha, and many other plays. Kudiyattam was predominantly performed by the Chakyar community of Kerala until the 1950s. In 1955, Guru Mani Madhava Chakyar took the revolutionary step of taking Kudiyattam out of the temple arena. He faced severe criticism and even ostracism from his community. But his courage, foresight and his vision has ensured that Kudiyattam has survived and continues to thrive. With this, I conclude the second part of my lecture on Indian drama. The next part of my lecture will deal with drama in medieval India. Thank you.